Hey folks, this is Chi Baker from Street Tactical Integrations in Portland, Oregon. We offer martial arts for self-protection and healing. And this is the second video of the series, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about kind of where injuries occur with the shoulders and a couple exercises that will help you rehab the shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to take my shirt off to help kind of identify a little bit closer to some of the areas that you need to look at. And I think it's important, again, in the last video I talked about of getting somebody who's going to palpate around your chest, your shoulder, and your back. Okay. Okay, so one of the key areas, and this is again one of the doctors calls this the 40-year-old shoulder syndrome, but right in kind of what I would consider the belly of the shoulder area, right in here, you'll find kind of an alleyway, and right in there, this tendon tends to get really inflamed, okay? And up in here, this muscle can get inflamed. Mine's actually a little bit inflamed right now. And then it kind of comes down into here, and you can kind of dig in, and it's right in the middle between two muscle groups, and that often gets inflamed and causes a lot of impingements. So you'll hear kind of the cracking of of those tendons. Let's see if I've got it. So one thing about what you should know about tendons is, I'll use this rubber band as an example, is that you've got these tendons, and these are attaching all the muscles and the bones. What happens oftentimes is when muscles get inflamed or even injury, that these tendons get really tight, and they're supposed to slide easily, just like your muscles, the fascia, your tendons, all those things are supposed to slide really well. So when the body's operating at its maximum capacity, things move fluidly and they slide well. What happens is that these get inflamed, they get tight, and they can't slide very well. When they do, they kind of go, and then they click, and you'll hear these clicking noises in your shoulders, knees, whatever. And it's because this is, instead of sliding smoothly and easily, it gets caught, and then it kind of snaps or clicks over, okay? So what you want to do, again, is take that inflammation off of these tendons, right, and the muscles, and then things will slide better. So instead of them being like puffed up and then these tendons being stretched, right, as your muscles get inflamed and these get stretched, they're not going to slide as well as because they're like this rubber band, right here, the muscle group, it can kind of easily slide, but if it gets really taut, right, it has a hard time and it doesn't roll well. Okay, so you want to look out for your tendons, okay? In particular, you want to kind of palpate and check out what's going on here. In the back, what happens is that you've got these attachment tendons that are attaching that shoulder, right, into and onto your back. And so sometimes what happens is you've actually injured or inflamed stuff that's happening in the back versus what's happening in the front. And so you'll work on this, and you'll kind of ice it, and that will help. But if the mechanism or the injuries in the back, that's not overall, you're going to continue to have the chronic pain. So here, again, right here, so this is a main area for me when I'm surfing that will get inflamed, right here, okay? What also will get inflamed is that scapula all the way up and down here. If I haven't been surfing for a long time, my lats down here will get inflamed as well. So as I said in the last video, you want to really look at these areas and make sure you're treating all the area. Don't center just on what feels or what you palpate and hurts. Look and kind of explore all the areas. Is it your traps? Is it your pecs? Maybe it's into your bicep. Maybe it's into your tricep. Maybe it goes into your lat. Maybe it goes into your shoulder or your scapular area, okay? So you really need to investigate these. Okay, so this exercise actually is based on an exercise that my supportive coach when I did wrestling in high school showed me. And it was just an exercise he really liked, okay? So I'll show you that exercise. And what I would say is I've got two different size medicine balls here, and I have a dumbbell. And you can use whatever you have at home. You can use a milk carton. If you're me, like, and you're Asian and you've got a lot of rice around, get one of those big burlap sacks of rice. You want to get something that has some weight between it. I advise something between 5 and 20 pounds, depending on your strength, your build, your stature, all that stuff. You want to find something typically that you're exercising the smaller, the muscles, the supportive muscles versus the big muscles. The big muscles, when you're doing this, it's going to make you, bulk up, but that's not going to help with healing, and it's not going to help with really rehab, and it's actually not going to help with preventive. You want to go with something that is slightly light, so that you can do about 20 reps, okay? So I'm going to use, so this is one medicine ball, it's 15 pounds. And so the exercise that my coach showed me was you have your arms down all the way, and you're going to lift it up and straight arms and slowly down. And you want to do this slow enough that you're not using momentum. So you can heave these up and down really fast, but you actually want to go at a somewhat slow pace. Okay? Okay, so I have the mirror behind me. I was hoping that, so part of this is that these exercises, they're gonna work here, they're gonna work the front, but they're also really working the back muscles too, which are important because again, a lot of, I think, my injuries, particularly surfing injuries, are because I've strained the back. I've been paddling, usually it's because I'm out of shape. I don't get to surf that much anymore. So when I do, I try to capitalize on the surf time and I kind of over surf, and then I come home stiff and sore, and I may have strained something. So let's see if we can get, I don't know if it's gonna work. Maybe I'll just turn. So you can see that it's also working the back muscles. Okay. Again, if you have dumbbells at home, some of you don't have muscle or have medicine balls, dumbbells work too. You just grab each side, and this is a 10-pounder, right? And you want your arms straight, okay? If you bend your arms, you're really not gonna utilize a lot of the muscle groups that you want to use. So try to keep the arms straight. If you can't go straight, it probably means that the weight is just too heavy. You're trying to compensate, and you're trying to like grip it in some weird way and hold it in a weird way. So again, to start off with, lighter weight is better, okay? The next exercise is circles, okay? And again, I want to keep my arms straight, and I'm going to circle around. And one thing you want to reduce or eliminate is you don't want to turn, okay? This is now becoming more of a core exercise. It's fine if you want to work your core, but this is not working my shoulders as much, okay? So what I want to do is try to keep my shoulders and my hips as square as possible and circle. Okay? And then you're going to reverse the other way. Again, I'm going to turn my back. I was hoping the mirror is going to work, but it doesn't seem like it's working very well. So you can see how it's working the back muscles. Again, I want to show that not only is this working the front and your you know, your pecs, your deltoids, your traps, your biceps, but it's also really working those back muscles that are critical, okay? And I'm gonna reverse. Good. I actually have an appointment that's gonna pop on soon, so I'm gonna end this with, check out these exercises. These are the best exercises I've found to heal, rehab when I have an injury. And if on top of it, I do this, so I try to do these 3 times a week, and I'll do 3 sets of each. So I'll do 3 sets of up and down, 3 sets this way, and then 3 sets the other way. And that really prevents